Let's jump right into this. I want you to picture something we literally all do probably almost every single day. You're relaxing on the couch after a long day, you pull out your phone, you open up your absolute favorite social media app, and you just start scrolling. You're just looking to unwind, right? And most of us think of this space as a place where we are in total control. We think we decide exactly what we want to consume because, well, we follow the people we want to follow, and we choose what interests us.
So, you start scrolling, and right off the bat, boom, a funny video appears. It grabs your interest instantly. You get a quick laugh, it's super lighthearted, and it just perfectly sets this casual, relaxed tone for your scrolling session.
You give it a little swipe, and right after that laugh, a news story immediately follows. Suddenly, you're briefly catching up on something important happening in the world. And the crazy part is, that shift from a comedy sketch to current events feels completely natural. It's just part of the flow. You swipe again, and now a political opinion seamlessly enters the feed. It's something provocative, something that makes you think, or maybe it even makes you react. But it's right there, mixed seamlessly in with the jokes and the headlines, and it's continuing to hold your focus.
And then, the very next video plays. And this one feels so perfectly tailored to your specific ultra-niche interests that it creates this complete illusion. I mean, nothing seems unusual at all. It feels exactly like you are the one choosing what to watch, like you're manually walking through a digital buffet of your own creation.
But here is the major paradigm shift we really need to explore in this explainer. What if something is quietly choosing what you see? Because honestly, whether you realize it or not, artificial intelligence is already the invisible force shaping your social media experience every single day. You see, while it's partly true that you decide what interests you, it's really only part of the story. Behind every major social media platform sits a remarkably powerful AI system, and this system has one surprisingly simple yet highly effective job. Keep your attention for as long as possible. Now, to really understand why this system is even necessary, imagine walking into a massive library containing billions of books. You could never read them all. You could never even physically see them all in a lifetime. Someone, or something, would absolutely need to decide which books to pull off the shelf and place directly in front of you. Social media works exactly like this giant library. Every single day, millions of videos, images, posts, and comments are all fiercely competing for your extremely limited attention. There is simply way too much content for any human to manually sift through, so an invisible curator is absolutely necessary to filter the noise for you. Okay, let's actually break down how this invisible curator works. The AI is quietly making 3 absolute make-or-break content decisions that you as the user never actually see happening. First, it decides what appears right away to hook you. Second, it decides what appears a little later to keep you scrolling. And third, and this is perhaps the most powerful one, it decides what never appears on your screen at all. You literally never see this massive sorting process happening behind the scenes. You only ever see the final, highly polished result, your feed. So how does it actually know what to choose for you? Well, the AI learns by paying incredibly close attention to tiny, almost imperceptible signals. It is tracking what you watch, what you quickly skip past, what you like, share, and comment on. It even measures exactly how many milliseconds you pause on a post before scrolling away. Literally, every tiny choice you make becomes a clue. And over time, the system builds a surprisingly detailed picture of your patterns. It uses those patterns to predict what you are most likely to engage with next. It doesn't know you personally, it just intimately knows your behavioral habits. And at this point, the AI is no longer simply showing you content. It is actively playing what we call the attention game. It is optimizing delivery to maximize the total time you spend on the platform. Why? Because your attention is incredibly valuable. The longer you stay glued to the screen, the more advertisements you see, and the more behavioral data you generate. And that is exactly what drives the platform's profitability. To actually win this attention game, the system learns to prioritize very specific types of content that keep people watching. Sometimes it serves up educational content, other times it's pure entertainment, or something deeply inspiring. But very, very often, it prioritizes highly emotional content. The algorithm quickly figures out that triggering strong emotional responses, whether that's joy or outrage or shock, is simply one of the most effective ways to keep people fully engaged and locked into the feed. I want you to think back for a second. Really think about the last time you intended to open social media for just 5 quick minutes. Maybe you were waiting in line at the store or just taking a very brief mental break. But how long did you actually stay on there? 10 minutes? 20? Maybe a full 60 minutes?
Time just vanishes online with surprising speed. And part of the reason for that crazy time warp is that the algorithms are continuously adjusting to your behavior in real time. As you scroll, the feed is becoming increasingly personalized, increasingly relevant to your immediate mood, and therefore increasingly difficult to leave. There is no human manually controlling your experience, but the AI is constantly learning and adapting on the fly to keep you exactly where you are.
So let's look at the next section, the South African experience, AI in digital Mzansi.
This invisible curation affects users right here in Mzansi just as much as anyone else in the world. Whether you are catching up on the latest local news, checking out weekend football highlights, learning about national politics, or just endlessly scrolling through local entertainment, AI is the ultimate gatekeeper. It's helping determine exactly what reaches your screen. And because so many people now receive their primary news and information directly through social media, these algorithms actively influence our national awareness. They shape what society chooses to discuss, how we perceive current events, and sometimes even our fundamental personal belief systems.
Which brings us to this truly fascinating, bigger question. If an AI is constantly deciding what information reaches you first, how much of your online experience is truly self-directed? Now, this definitely doesn't mean you are powerless. Far from it. But it absolutely means that our daily personal choices are happening inside digital environments that are being continuously and actively shaped by algorithms. The real challenge for us is learning to actually recognize that influence, because influence is always most powerful when it remains totally invisible.
So I want to introduce a really simple experiment for you to try tomorrow. It's a fantastic way to start recognizing this invisible curator. When you open your social media app, instead of immediately falling into the scroll, just pause. Look at the very first post that pops up and ask yourself, why am I seeing this specific post? Why this video? Why this particular opinion? And why right now? The answers won't always be perfectly obvious, but the simple act of stopping to ask the question immediately changes how you interact with the technology.
So the crucial takeaway here is that understanding the system isn't about fear. The goal isn't to be paranoid or afraid of artificial intelligence or social media. The goal is simply to understand it, because awareness is the very first step toward maintaining your control. Once you fully realize how the AI controls the flow of information to optimize for your attention, you can start to engage with your own feed much, much more consciously.
In a world that is increasingly being shaped by these algorithms, your conscious attention might just become your most valuable asset. If this explainer changed how you view your daily digital habits, make sure to subscribe to Digital Mzansi. We are going to keep exploring the invisible systems curating our world. But until next time, I'll leave you with this to ask yourself. When you unlock your phone tomorrow, who is really in control of your screen?